We're good. Hello and welcome back to VEDS. You know, it's been a while since I've done a review, like a review proper. It's been like 2 years, so let's do one today. And today we're going to talk about a comic that I recently picked up. Ghost Spider Annual number 1, Alone in Murder World. Annuals are kind of standalone stories that come out yearly, as you would imagine, and put characters in situations that they might not normally be in. And this annual is perfect to talk about because it's Spidergwen, my favorite Marvel superhero, and it's Arcade, who is a super fun villain who doesn't get a lot of play. For those of you who don't know, Arcade is a hitman, but instead of just killing his people, he traps them in this amusement park type world called Murder World, and he challenges them to escape or he kills them. He's very directly based off of the James Bond movie Man with the Golden Gun, and he is just delightful. This issue picks up with Gwen Stacy of Earth 65, Spider-Gwen, going to the mainline Earth in the Marvel Universe, Earth 616, to go to college. She is a celebrity and a known crime fighter in her world, and so she has to go to a parallel universe to actually get an education without being bothered and having supervillains attack her. And after class one night, she is dropped into Murder World, where we find out that Arcade has set up a trap for the, OG Spider-Man, and she has to fight her way out of it. And I have to say, they nail Arcade in this. He is only a digital projection of Arcade, because Arcade isn't there, which is why he doesn't realize that Spider-Gwen is in fact not Spider-Man. But the whole time is whenever his talking head pops up, it's really fun because he's just completely oblivious to the fact that he has trapped the wrong person, so his enthusiasm for this scenario still comes out. And Arcade is the perfect kind of standalone villain because all he does is set up like this one trial for your hero to overcome. And inevitably, the heroes always overcome this, but it makes for a good narrative arc. However, while Arcade is really great, Murder World in this is kind of boring, or at least comparative to some other Murder Worlds that we've seen before. There are no giant pinball machines, there are no talking sentient pies. This is just kind of a generic New York stand-in with a bunch of robot duplicates of heroes and villains. So while in general Arcade is spot on in this, Murder World itself could be a little bit more wacky. Throughout the story, Gwen is very angsty. It's one of those things where in comics oftentimes you kind of go back to the same beats with characters, and that's very much this. It's kind of this self-actualizing identity type story, which is definitely good, but familiar if you have read the character before. Now, this does fall into a pitfall with this character, which is that they take Gwen out of Earth 65 and put her into other universes, specifically Earth 616. While reading the original run of Spider-Gwen, I really got to not only know, but also really like the world of Earth 65, the characters within it, and I kind of miss it. Moving forward, I hope that Earth 65 doesn't just get thrown away in favor of moving Gwen into the main continuity or, weird alternate universes that will have little impact on her story as a whole. They kind of even did this in the Spider-Geddon tie-ins this year. Almost immediately she was taken out of 6-5 into the main event and then thrown into a completely different universe. Of course, I will not begrudge a Spider-Gwen story in whichever universe, but I do hope that Earth 65 gets some love moving forward. Of course, I've been talking a lot about the narrative. What about the art? Well, it is really good. Pierre Perez drew this issue, and I feel like he does a lot with minimalistic backgrounds and colors, really meshing well into the style of Spider-Gwen. I think one of the great things about her character is that she has stayed fairly consistent in her art style from the beginning. And I think he really matches this world well. Overall, I enjoyed Alone in Murder World. I think that this really succeeds at what most annuals should, which is just having a standalone encapsulation of the hero in an environment where they are not always in. I think a little bit more could have been done with the concept, and there are some hangups I have with it that just kind of extend into a lot of Spider-Gwen comics, but it is definitely worth a read if you are a fan of this character. And if you have never read Spider-Gwen, it's actually not a bad introduction because it kind of strips her down to some base elements and tells a pretty good story with that. With that, friends, I will see y'all tomorrow.